All right, y'all. So we got something from my big slime X Celeste with another explained video. Today, this is the BTS Wings era explained. So apparently she's breaking down the short films, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, MB. So, I mean, I don't know. I already seen like a explained version of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, but I don't know. I like it better when X Celeste goes deep into it because I feel like she's my teacher and I'm the student. So that's what we finna do. So let's get straight to it. Let's go. And let's do this thing. Bang bang booda bam boom boom boom.
Sup Flare Squad, welcome back to my channel and to another video.
Hey.
Let me start off by saying that the Wings era is very complicated, but I'll do my best to simplify it and get straight to the point.
Let's go.
I'll also be calling the BTS members by their character names, which are also their real names.
All right.
The Wings era was inspired by the book Damien, written by Hermann Hesse, which is about a young boy who struggles to find his new self-knowledge in the immoral world and is caught between good and evil.
Is my circle too big? I feel like my circle's too big. It's like as big as my head. Is this too big? Let me make it a little bit smaller. It's like a little bit smaller. I could be right here, cause I don't want to block her name. I could be right here. Yeah. Let's see what that does. We'll probably change it in mid-video.
This ties into BTS's fictional characters in the BTS universe storyline. If you haven't yet, I highly recommend you watching my video called BTS Storyline Summary Explained
I seen it.
2020.
Oh, I didn't see
Link is
it.
in my description box.
I don't think I've seen that one.
But this will help you understand what I'm about to unfold.
Hey.
During this era, BTS's fictional characters are now experiencing the loss of innocence and the hardships of reality. Here's what I'll be going over today, starting with the summarization.
God damn it, I'm sorry. Let me move my thing again. Just move it so y'all can see that.
Of Damien. In the novel Damien, the main character named Emile Sinclair got his first taste of darkness when he lied about stealing apples from a garden. This apple from the garden represented the Garden of Eden, and the apple was the forbidden fruit, symbolizing Sinclair's first sin.
Don't look at me like that.
An older boy named Cromer used this lie
shit.
to blackmail and bully Sinclair, but a new classmate appeared and stopped the bullying. His name was Damien. He approaches Sinclair one day and presents him with an inventive interpretation of the story of Cain and Abel. Damien insists one ought to worship the entire world, the evil parts too. The world is divided into two realms.
That looks beautiful as fuck. God damn. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Light and
Ooh.
darkness, good and bad. Confirmation Day marked the end of Sinclair's childhood. The class's last lessons were about the Last Supper. Sinclair entered boarding school and started staying out late, drinking and carousing. This marked the beginning of a rebellious streak. Sinclair then sees a girl named Beatrice, who had become a symbol for him, but he never spoke to her.
These are some crazy names.
He took a painting and painted a picture of this girl. One day later, after the rain washed away the painting, Sinclair could see Damien and himself on the canvas. Sinclair then painted a picture of the sparrowhawk on the same canvas.
The bird fights its way out of the egg. The egg is the world.
The egg is the
Who
world.
would be born must first destroy a world. The bird flies to God. That God's name is Abraxas.
Abraxas is an ancient god who contains both divine and satanic elements. Hesse used this event to symbolize the connection between Sinclair, Damien, and Abraxas. There was also another painting that turned out to be Eva, Damien's mother, who represents the concept of the universal mother, Eve. Strolling about town one day, Sinclair hears music emanating from a small church. He was moved by it and would sit outside to listen for a while. He does this many times and eventually trails down the organist. Sinclair follows him to a bar and they begin to chat. The organist was named Pistorius. He becomes a mentor to Sinclair, helping him learn further things about himself and teaching him about Abraxas.
I wonder how it feels to be like someone with a normal name with all these wild ass names like Pistorius, Abraxas, and you just Sinclair and Damien. Like, I don't know. I probably feel real different.
One day, as Sinclair was strolling around his college town, he runs into Damien, and they're happily reunited. Sinclair then became a regular at Damien's household and strengthened his bond with both Damien and Damien's mother, Frau Eva.
Forever.
War begins, and Damien is called to serve as a lieutenant. Before Sinclair goes off to war, Eva tells him that he could call her whenever he needs to. He can do so, and she will send somebody like her to his side. Sinclair is wounded in battle. He summons his energy and finds Damien by his side. Damien tells Sinclair that if ever he needs help, he no longer needs to call Damien. He simply needs to look inside himself, and he'll see that Damien is within him. Damien then gives him a light kiss on the lips, a kiss that he says is from Eva, then vanishes into the night. Carl Jung's theories and Nietzsche's philosophy play a part.
His mustache goes crazy.
Storyline.
That mustache goes
if you've
wild.
been keeping up with the BTS universe or have watched my videos before, I'm sure you've already heard of Carl Jung. BTS's Map of the Soul era was inspired by the book Jung's Map of the Soul by Mary Stein. So this story is about the psychological development of the protagonist, Emile Sinclair, which is quite in line with Carl Jung's theories. It becomes even more evident when Hess talks about Sinclair trying to figure out his dreams and what it means. So Emile Sinclair represents the ego in the persona. He is the person that experiences the process of individuation. Damien seems to be the prototypical Ubermensch who has already surpassed the value system of society, while Sinclair sets off on a similar journey. Damien could be recognized as the self. According to Carl Jung, there are stages during the process of individuation. Stage 1, the shadow. Cromer, the bully who blackmailed Sinclair, was Sinclair's first human link with the dark world. He could be categorized as the shadow. Stage 2, the anima or animus. Beatrice could be categorized as Sinclair's anima. Stage 3, mana personality of Mother Eve. He meets Damien's mother, Frau Eva. She is the mother, the mistress, and goddess of his dreams. Stage 4, the self. After getting in touch with the shadow, anima, and mana personality, that's when Sinclair got in touch with the self. This is the process of individuation. This is the same process each member is experiencing in the BTS universe. You'll also recognize the terms like persona, shadow, and ego that were used during BTS's Map of the Soul.
I remember.
Reminder, this will all make a lot more sense if you've watched my BTS storyline summary explained 2020, since I won't be diving in too deep or we'd be here for hours.
I think I have to watch that. I'm pretty sure I have to watch that. Because I don't know if I watched the 54-minute version. I don't know. Might have to take a looky look.
Link is in my description box. During the beginning of each short film, an excerpt from Damien is read by RM. There's a theory that each member represents a stage in Sinclair's life. Wings short film number 1, Begin. Jungkook represents Sinclair's innocent childhood. Jungkook is seen having a nightmare in bed with a piano on fire. The piano represents Yoongi, and the fire was when Yoongi committed suicide by burning himself.
Jesus
We
Christ.
then hear a car crash and a mirror shattering with a sparrowhawk being shown. The sound of a car crash was when Jungkook got hit by a vehicle. The mirror shattering symbolizes time travel. Every time Seokjin travels back in time, a mirror shatters.
Bruh, if that was me, I would have been so angry, bruh. Like, son, why? Why? What does the mean? At least can these fucking... I would stay away from all mirrors. Anything glass. Glass cups, glass mirrors, windows, glass, I don't know. Like, bruh, goddamn.
You hear Jungkook's voice singing the lyrics. The 15-year-old me who didn't have anything shows the link to Jungkook representing Sinclair when he was younger. This is a line from Jungkook's song, Begin. If you read the lyrics, it ties into the BTS universe storyline while linking it to real life, such as thanking the BTS members for bringing him out of his shell. Also, note the whistling portion could tie in with the character Cromer, the bully, who'd whistle to summon Sinclair. Jungkook then holds up a drawing of Yoongi, but with what looks like a bloodstain. Another picture is also found in his room.
How do you see that? What the fuck? How do you see that?
Just like the scene in Damien, rain washed the painting, revealing that not only did it look like Yoongi, but also of Jungkook. The painting bursts into flames as Jungkook watches and cries. He drops the drawing of Yoongi from his hand, but later picks it up to find that it had changed into the Sparrowhawk.
Alright, if we're gonna keep it a bean, how would y'all feel if y'all was like in this? Would y'all have like a panic attack or an anxiety attack or something? Because like, it's like when you read the Bible or like read stories from the Bible and talk about people being approached by angels and say, "Oh, be not afraid." Them angels back then did not look like that. How they are depicted in them little stories. Them angels look terrifying, like terrifying. Search up a picture of an angel, a realistic angel that probably would have been shown in the Bible, and then come back and tell me you would have not shit your pants. Like, bro, what in the fuck?
Uses the symbolic approach to give the Sparrowhawk purpose in the story as a symbol of the mark of Cain. It's a symbol for those seeking the truth themselves and striving to break free. After he puts the picture of the bird in the envelope, we see a shadow of Wings appearing behind him. Wings short film number 2, Lie. Jimin represents Sinclair's first encounter with darkness as a child. The video starts out by focusing on the picture of a forest, which is linked to Jimin's scarring event at the Flowering Arboretum. This is the same photo Jimin gave to the magic shop in exchange for an umbrella, a scar in exchange for happiness. This scene represents the interrogation that happened when Jimin was at the hospital. A scene of a sign pointing to the Flowering Arboretum appears, and Jimin then starts to sing. Caught in a lie, find back the pure me, I cannot get out of this lie. Jimin lied to the doctor when they asked about what happened. He said, I don't remember a thing, referring to the incident he witnessed at the Flowering Arboretum, where he found a kid who was held captive and abused. Through this incident, he developed seizures and had been locked up in the hospital for years as he continued to lie to everyone and to himself. Just as Jungkook's character is linked to Yoongi, Jimin's character is linked to Hoseok. A card with Eva written on it, the pills Hoseok takes, and a scene with an empty hospital bed that Hoseok was in. All this points to the bond Jimin has with Hoseok. You then see Jimin fall into a bathtub. In the storyline, during a couple of timelines, Jimin actually drowns himself at the hospital in the bathtub. The scene changes to Jimin eating the apple, and in Damien, the apple represents the forbidden fruit and Sinclair's first sin.
He just smirks.
Jimin then turns the camera to face the painting, and he himself also faces it, symbolizing facing his fear. Wings short film number 3, Stigma. Taehyung represents Sinclair at boarding school during his...
I just want to say this one thing. I got a cover for Stigma coming out when I finish this break that I'm taking. I hope you guys like it. If you don't, then tell me I am a bitch. Thank you.
His rebellious stage. It starts with Taehyung scraping at a graffiti of Abraxas on the garage door with what looks like a screwdriver. He's caught by the cops and brought into jail for questioning.
Okay, can we just have like a little bit of comedic effect? What the hell was he about to do with that screwdriver, bro? Can we just have like a little bit of comedic effect on this, like, bro?
We then see a scene full of symbolism representing his youth, but also what happened to him in the past during his childhood. In the storyline, Taehyung lost a white 2-month-old puppy named Dubu. You then see him get hit, which represents his father abusing him. A scene of the Eva painting meaning mother flashes. This symbolizes 2 events. When Taehyung was younger, his mother left him and his sister. Eva also represents Hosok's character, and Hosok was the one who stopped him from murdering his father during a timeline. You then see a phone booth wrapped in chains, highlighting his experience with Namjoon and him not being able to contact him. That's when we see a scene
fire. Oh, fuck, that's fire.
Of his sister bundled in a blanket after being abused by their alcoholic father, and Taehyung is seen comforting her. Then the lyrics, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, my sister, are sung.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, my sister.
That's where it's from? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, ooh. Okay. All right. Okay. I got you. I'm following.
A cage is seen being placed on Taehyung, and the white puppy slips away.
And he just walks away.
The white puppy represents his childhood and innocence. The cage is him being trapped in his current life. The cage is his world that he must break out of. More scenes flash of his sister being abused. We also see scenes from the past music video called Danger, which was released in 2014.
No, you cut your real hair.
This is proof that their Dark and Wild era is also connected to their storyline. A mirror shatters once again.
Jesus.
The dialogue during the video is the officer asking if he has parents, and he says that he has no such thing. He then asks the officer if he could let him make one call. He made a phone call to Namjoon. Wings short film number 4, First Love. Yoongi represents the time when Sinclair met the organist Pistorius, who became a mentor to him. Yoongi is Pistorius while Jungkook is Sinclair. We could see Yoongi grab a rock to shatter the glass of the music shop. He goes in to play the piano, and the melody he plays is from Jungkook's Begin. He then hears someone whistling the same melody. He tries to follow and find where the whistling is coming from, but then a car flashes by and crashes into the music store. This symbolizes Yoongi wanting to find his way back to how things were with Jungkook, but then Jungkook's car accident happened. You see the bloodstains on the road. He runs back to the music shop. Now, I'm not exactly sure why it flashed the bathtub where Jimin drowned, but maybe it shows the hospital, since Jimin, Jungkook, and Hosok do end up in the same hospital.
They could have just needed like extra clips or extra footage or some B-roll or something. I don't know. Dramatic effect, maybe.
Also, in the storyline, after Yoongi found out about Jungkook's car accident, he rushed to the hospital, but couldn't bring himself to go in to Jungkook's room. The piano catches on fire and you see Yoongi confused. This could symbolize how Yoongi is caught in the middle. He wants to reconnect with Jungkook again, but chose to set himself on fire. In the storyline, Yoongi's character believes that he'll only hurt the people he loves, which is why he continues to distance himself from Jungkook. Wings short film number 5, Reflection. Namjoon represents the time Sinclair left Pistorius. Sinclair is in despair, then loses himself to drinking. It starts by showing Namjoon's container house that he lives in. He receives a sparrowhawk picture from Jungkook, then starts to tattoo the hawk onto his arm. He later burns the photo, puts the ashes in a drink, and drinks it. This also
What the fuck? What the hell?
happened in Damien. In Sinclair's dream, he burnt a picture, then ate the ashes. You hear the sound of a busy phone line representing his relationship to Taehyung. Color starts to take over him, and the mirror shatters once again, symbolizing time travel. You see a glimpse of the words, "We must survive," representing the time he wrote this to the boys in the storyline. He remembers and gets back up, reflecting on himself. Fireworks appear.
Reflection, I get it.
Representing
I
the
get
time
it.
the boys watched the fireworks together. The mirrors shatter, symbolizing Namjoon breaking out of his world and running towards the phone booth where Taehyung is calling. Namjoon can't get into the phone booth, and the word liar appears on the glass. Taehyung made a phone call to Namjoon when he needed him the most, but he couldn't pick up. Therefore, Namjoon is a liar to him. Wings short film number 6, Mama. Hoseok represents the time Sinclair met Frau Eva, Damien's mother. Eva is Sinclair's motherly figure and his object of affection. The lines spoken in the beginning of this film are about Eva. We start off with Hoseok laying down in a padded room which resembles a prison. A doctor comes over and films out a form where we see the words assessment, Munchausen syndrome. In the storyline, Hoseok supposedly developed narcolepsy after his mother abandoned him. He later reveals that his illness was a lie. Munchausen syndrome is a psychological disorder where someone pretends to be ill or deliberately produces symptoms of illness in themselves.
So is that really them lying, or are they just like are they like is it really lying if they can't control it? Or you uncontrollably lying? I don't know. Is it? Whoa, shit. Jesus Christ. I've never heard of this before.
You could see how he was pretending to be asleep, but as soon as the doctor walked away, he got up. The time hit 1 o'clock. Pills started pouring out.
Jesus.
He pops one in his mouth and the image of Abraxas appears in his eyes. This was the same graffiti Taehyung was seen with. As soon as he takes the pills, chaos happens. A subliminal picture appears beside him, and it's Eva's portrait. They then flashed images of eyes around him. They actually had a photo shoot later on in the future called Love Yourself Answer.
That is terrifying.
Where Hoseok was stuck in a red box with eyes.
That is terrifying.
During the
Holy
answer concept, we were able to link it to the book called 1984 by George Orwell.
Ooh.
Eye is an archetypal symbol that suggests that someone
Big brother.
unseen
Oh, Jesus
is
Christ.
watching. Then we see wings behind Hoseok, representing Abraxas and wanting to break free. He goes berserk until he faints, then wakes up to the sound of birds chirping and the sun shining through the door's window. He looks out to see the image connected to Jimin's flowering arboretum. Remember that Jimin and Hoseok are closely linked. He opened the door and walked outside, representing him breaking free from his cage. He pulls out a Snicker bar, which used to be given to him by his mother. The last thing she left for him was a chocolate bar before abandoning him. He smiled at the image, then walked away, and the forest painting changed into a mother embracing her child with the words Eva written at the bottom. This represented the moment Sinclair changed into a man who was enlightened. Wings short film number 7, Awake. Seokjin represents the moment Sinclair awoke and found himself. Each scene in Seokjin's film will have objects that represent each character. The scenes start off with Seokjin at the dinner table with an apple and a bottle of red pills. You could hear a static noise coming from his earpiece, which highlighted the time he was forced to expose their hideout to the principal. The apple represents Jimin, but unlike Jimin, he doesn't bite into it, but just drops it.
It's a big ass apple.
He picks up the camera that we've seen him use before. He tries to take a picture of the lilies, which symbolize the members, but also resurrection and rebirth. As soon as he takes the picture, the candles are blown out, symbolizing death. In the storyline, we know that he's in a time loop in order to save all the boys from tragedy and death, but fails many times. A shadow befalls him as he looks over a figure that looks like a sparrowhawk, and he sees the words written by Namjoon, "We must survive." He follows the apple in the darkness, which leads him into a room that closed him in. This is now his world. The time loop in the storyline kept him as a prisoner. He gathers the 6 lily petals, and a similar scene plays out. We've seen this before from their I Need You music video. The 6 petals represent each members, and he tries to burn them himself. In the storyline, Seokjin ends up making another deal with the blue and green-eyed cat, but in return, he didn't realize the consequence was him losing his memories of the boys. He ends up losing himself and the reason why he wanted to save him. Seokjin is seen struggling. This was when he developed major headaches after making a deal with the cat. He was slowly losing his memories. We get to the scene where you see more of the members' items that directly connect to them. The piano represents Yoongi, the Eva painting represents Hoseok, and the painting represents Jungkook. We also see a painting of a sparrowhawk in the hallway, which also represents Jungkook. The apple we saw represented Jimin, the writing "We must survive" represented Namjoon, and as for the scratches on the wall, it represents Taehyung. The wardrobe wrapped with chains represent the hidden cabinet in their hideout, which holds a diary of Seokjin's father. He sees a sparrowhawk fly by, and so he quickly opens the window only to find a reflection of himself. Psychologically, Carl Jung's viewpoint of mirrors may represent the doorway between the conscious mind and unconscious mind. Therefore, by observing yourself in the mirror, you are one step closer to knowing the real you, or the unconsciousness. A sentence appears. We cried a lot and laughed a lot, but it was so beautiful. He wants his memories back of the boys and their time together. This was the moment he realized he needed to break free and get back to saving them all. He walks down a hallway where you see a painting of the sparrowhawk. In the book Damien, Sinclair paints a sparrowhawk and mails it to Damien. Damien and Eva both love the painting that they framed it in their house. You'll notice the Abraxas wallpaper that looks identical to the graffiti Taehyung was scratching. Seokjin then proceeds down the hallway and follows the light, representing him leaving the world.
Am I the only person that wants X Celeste to read me a bedtime story before I go to sleep? I feel like I'm the only person that wants that.
In the storyline, Seokjin does figure out how to save all the boys and save himself by finding his map of the soul. The Polaroid then reveals images related to 6 of the boys. Boy Meets Evil comeback trailer. Hoseok represents Sinclair falling into temptations. He starts off in the light but makes his way into darkness, then starts to sing, "It's getting dark, the light in my future." As he continues to dance, the foundation around him starts to shatter, representing him destroying
Superman?
his world. Hoseok flips between good and evil, the two realms that need each other and are linked. Once again, we see the shadow of wings symbolizing wanting to break free. Blood, Sweat, and Tears music video. This music video represents the psychological journey of self-discovery. It highlights the temptations of evil. The video starts off with the boys coming in as pairs. The young members are paired with an older mentor-like member, just as Sinclair was paired with Damien, who was his friend and mentor. But then we see Seokjin, who stands alone. You'll notice links to childhood and innocence, such as a bicycle, slingshot, book, etc.
Book.
Then you'll notice Seokjin standing alone gazing at the painting called The Fall of the Rebel Angels.
She's saying books are childish. So if you read, you childish. That's what she's saying. Yes, I'm going with that. Yes.
By Peter Bruegel the Elder. The work details the first confrontation between good and evil, heaven and hell. Seokjin is seen in between two doors. The black door represents evil, while the white door represents good. Music starts with Jimin's eyes being covered and him pulling Hoseok's hand away. Unblinding symbolizes the innocent's blindfold being taken off to reveal reality. Another symbolism for childhood is the lollipop and swing Jungkook is on. We later see Jungkook floating without a swing and feathers around him. This scene could be linked to his car accident. And I quote, "Thought my body was floating, but it was actually the hard floor. My head must have flipped back because the world was turned upside down." May 22, year 22, tear. The painting behind Jungkook is called The Laminate of Icarus by Herbert James Draper. It depicts the dead Icarus surrounded by lamenting nymphs. Icarus's father made wings out of wax, but warned him not to fly too low or too high. Icarus didn't listen and flew near the sun. The wax melted and he plunged to his death. Namjoon is seen lighting a sugar cube over a green liquid. This represented the alcohol called
absinthe. I knew it. I didn't want to say nothing during the thing. Absinthe. It was green. It was from this movie called Moulin Rouge. I remember. And it's real. Don't ever drink that shit. That shit is crazy. That shit is deadly as hell. Nah.
Which is
that
a
shit is
hallucinogenic
deadly.
drink that causes
my
euphoria.
God.
As he burns the cube, an image of the sparrow hawk is shown burning, meaning he's tapping into these dark temptations.
My brain just worked for a
Jungkook is shown
second.
drinking the same drink in the Japanese version.
He just went
and
crazy.
we get to see the hallucinations. We then see Hoseok sitting in a Roman bath with an arrow in hand. Behind him is Michelangelo's famous Pieta, which depicts the body of Jesus on the lap of his mother Mary after crucifixion. This ties in with Hoseok's connection with his mother, but notice how the body of Jesus is not carved out yet. This could symbolize that it's still under construction, meaning the boys are still working on finding themselves. Hoseok shoots the arrow towards Taehyung, but Taehyung is unaffected. He's under a veil or sheets representing protection, but also he uses this veil to hide his pain.
I have to see this. This looks
Taehyung's
fire.
character in the storyline would hide his problems from the boys, and they never knew what was really going on with him at home. Jimin and Yoongi are seen kneeling down in front of each other. Jimin is holding an apple that represents his sin and lie, while Yoongi holds a blindfold. Note that this room was inspired by the movie called Chat Room. Chat Room is about 5 young people who meet on the internet and encourage each other's bad behaviors. Notice the similarities of the room. There were also some small similarities, such as a character named Eva, the wings, vandalism, the kiss, but also one of the characters' father left them at a zoo, and this character is so scarred that he takes pills similar to Hoseok's character. We later see Yoongi cover Jimin's eyes with this blindfold. This could represent him closing Jimin's eyes to reality, but in the end, it made Jimin a prisoner in his own world. Jimin's character in the storyline locked himself up in the hospital and didn't want to leave. He was afraid to face reality and forgive himself for not doing anything about the little boy in the Flower Laboratorium. The camera travels through the room to where the doors open, revealing Taehyung jumping off the balcony in front of the painting called Landscape with the Fall of Icarus. Icarus falls into the sea to his death. Storyline when he jumped off a platform and drowned in the ocean. We see more of Jungkook's room in the music video, and notice he also has the landscape of the fall of Icarus. In the story, Jungkook also decides to jump into the ocean in one timeline. You also see another painting above him. This was painted by Quaglio on the ceiling of Ljubljana Cathedral. It gave an illusion of an open sky. Not only do you see it in this scene with Jungkook floating, but Hoseok and Jimin during the Japanese music video are seen reaching for it. Reaching for the sky. A scene with all 7 of the boys around a dinner table is linked to Sinclair's confirmation day, marking the end of Sinclair's childhood. The class's last lessons were about the Last Supper. Notice how they all have apples on their plate. They are about to partake in their first sin. Seokjin is seen on top of the dinner table letting go of a balloon. Namjoon reads a quote from Damien. He too was temper. He too was linked to the second, the evil world with which I no longer wanted to have anything to do. This was when Sinclair was freed from his bully with the help of Damien. Although Damien was the one who helped free him, he didn't want to be connected to someone who was linked to evil. Seokjin letting go of the balloon symbolizes letting go of purity and childhood. You need to let go in order to grow and transition into adulthood. The scene switches to Yoongi playing Passacaglia in D minor by Buxtehude. This song was played in the novel Damien by the organist Pistorius. Pistorius was a guide for Sinclair, providing him the knowledge of Abraxas. Taehyung is then unveiled, revealing 2 marks where his wings were. We do see Taehyung with his wings during the Wings tour trailer, but during this scene, he is portrayed as Abraxas, along with the statue that Seokjin kisses. At the end of Damien...
Can you tell us why he kissed it? Like, I still want to know why he kissed it. Is it from the... It's from this. Never mind. I need to stop talking.
Gives Sinclair a kiss on the lips, symbolizing Sinclair's acceptance of himself and self-realization. Seokjin has now broken out of his egg and we see chaos.
Jesus.
He has embraced both the world of good and evil. He walks towards a mirror with a German quote from Nietzsche written above. You must have chaos inside you to give birth to a dancing star. Remember that we mentioned Nietzsche earlier and that Hess was profoundly influenced by Friedrich Nietzsche, and many ideas were expressed in Damien.
I'm guessing that means like there's beauty behind the madness or something like that. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Notice the difference in the mirror representing the 2 worlds. His reflection showed Seokjin standing in darkness with liatris flowers in the vase, while the other side held the lilies that we've been seeing symbolizing purity and the members. The liatris is also known as blazing star, which could connect with Nietzsche's quote. Seokjin's face starts to crack, symbolizing the shattering of the old self. Shattering is also connected to Seokjin's time travel.
Glass.
In the end, all the characters in the storyline face chaos and hardships in order to realize the self. They bring forth the image of birds that break out of their shells and try to take flight for the first time.
See, this is why I say, hold on.
The chaos and uncertainty is part of the growing process. As Suga mentioned during the Wings press conference, he said, the song relays an optimistic determination to use our wings to go far, even if we are met with temptations in life. So that is all for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to click that like button and also join the Flare Squad by subscribing, you guys.
That's swag.
Thanks for watching.
That's tough. She's tough for that. She's tough for this video. She's tough for this video. But what I was about to say is like, this is why I'm like, bro, I'm so what's the word? I'm so depth. I'm focused on like trying to accept the bad for good to come, because like I don't know, I can't really explain it like that right now. My mind is going blank, but I feel like you really have to find like chaos in order to be your true self, because you can't grow into a person if you don't go through shit. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through shit. You gotta accept the shit you go through, and that's how you learn from mistakes, learn from bad times to turn them into good. And then you have a story, and that just like leads to the journey of life. And that's what I feel like the meaning of life is, even though I don't feel like there's a meaning of life, but life is all about the journey rather than the destination. You know what I'm saying? Because like everybody has a destination. Everybody has a starting point, which is birth, and everybody has a destination of life, and that's death. So I feel like it's all about the journey of, you know what I'm saying? And it's in different stages. It's so deep. I want to have like a real deep ass hour-long conversation with y'all about life. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I want to have it. But shout out to XLS for this video. I feel like I learned a lot, even with the reoccurring themes in this video. I love XLS so much. She's the best. If y'all enjoy, please leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new and turn on my post notifications. And tell your friends about me. Once again, shout out to XLS, man. Shit, she killed this. She killed it.